What would you think if I told you that you may be the very thing blocking the identification and development of more leaders in your organization? Well, stay tuned because today I'm going to tell you how we can become our very own worst enemy when it comes to development. Hey guys, this is Mac Lake bringing you tips, tools, and techniques that help you develop more and better leaders. Thanks for joining me for today's video. And hey, if you've not subscribed yet to this channel, make sure you click the subscribe button as well as the bell at the top so you can be notified every week when I come out with new videos. Okay, hold on to your seats because I have something to share that not everybody's going to like. Sometimes the biggest thing that gets in the way of equipping others is our ego. So in today's video, I want to show you 3 signs that indicate your ego may be getting in the way of your equipping more and better leaders. Sign number 1, you think no one else can do the job as good as you. Now, in many cases, this may be true. You may be the very best of the best in your organization. In fact, you may be the best in your industry. But because your performance level is so high, sometimes that keeps you from seeing the potential level of others. And because you're able to do such a great job, sometimes it's hard for you to let go because you want to maintain quality and therefore you feel like you have to do everything yourself. The moment you begin to entrust somebody else with a task from that role or give them a responsibility, then you're letting go and you're not in control of results, and that makes you very uncomfortable and uneasy. But as long as you lead from a control mindset, you may be putting a cap on the development of the leaders under you. So what do? We have to move from a control mindset to a coaching mindset. Begin to give people on your team responsibility and walk closely with them so that you can coach them towards high quality leadership results. Listen, your goal should be to develop other people who are as good or better than you in your role. So you have to see yourself as a coach who's preparing others in the skills they need to lead well, not as a controller who is the sole deliverer of great results. Sign number 2. Your identity is tied to your performance. Leaders are driven and we love results and we're paid to get results. But there are times our desire for results crosses an unhealthy line spiritually where our identity is tied to our productivity. And you know, it's so easy as leaders to base our identity on what we do rather than who we are in Christ. If we're honest with ourselves, so many times we feel insecure. And we use our leadership position to validate our identity. We use it to prove our worth, to gain esteem, or to make ourselves feel good about who we are. And when we do this, we're treading on dangerous territory when we need our work to validate our worth. And it's not only dangerous spiritually, it can also keep us from developing others. If your identity is tied to your performance, then you become threatened when other people's performance is equal or better than yours. When that young new leader emerges and becomes a superstar, you become resentful. Or when an outsider comes in and provides consulting or coaching and everybody raves about their insights, you get jealous. Or you just find yourself working hard to make sure that people see the results that you're getting, or you find yourself bragging about the difference you make. All of these are signs that your identity may be based on your performance. And when your identity is tied to your performance, you're more concerned with demonstrating your significance than developing other skills. So what do? We have to identify the lie we're believing. And the lie we're believing is, my worth is determined by the quality of my work. And we have to replace that lie with God's truth, which is, I'm loved, I'm valued, I'm cherished by God for who I am more than what I do. And for that reason, I can celebrate when others do well. And I don't have to be threatened when others excel because my worth is not based on what I do. It's based on God's unconditional love for me. One of my life verses that's helped me with this so much is Galatians 2:20. It says, I have been crucified with Christ. I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. And this life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. Paul's reminding me this life is not my own. It's Christ who lives in me. And I know he loves me and he gave himself for me. And I find my value in that truth of his work, not the efforts of my works. The third sign that your ego may be getting in the way is you're addicted to applause. When I was 21 years old, I was coaching a Little League baseball team. We had this kid named Andy who was on our team. He was the best player on our team, and he was also the best player in the entire league. Now, it was the final game of the season. It was the final inning of the season. We were playing our rivals. We were up by 1 run, and there were 2 outs. I promise, this is true. And Andy's on the mound. He's pitching, and he throws the pitch, and the batter smacks the ball deep center field. It flies over the head of our center fielder, who just so happened to be the slowest kid on our team. And it just starts rolling and rolling and rolling. There was no fence on that field, so the ball just kept rolling. Now, when Andy saw what was happening, he assessed the situation and he took off running towards center field as fast as he could. Next thing you know, he is past the center fielder and he scoops up the ball and he turns and faces the infield. Now, by this time, the runner is rounding second base and we're all screaming, throw it to third, throw it to third. But he totally ignores us. He tucks his glove under his arm and he takes off running towards the infield as fast as he can. By the time his foot hits the infield dirt, the runner has rounded third base and we're screaming, throw it home, throw it home. But again, he ignores us. He just stays focused and he keeps running towards home plate. And then, as if it was happening in slow motion, Andy and the base runner collided at home plate. There is a cloud of smoke and the umpire screams, "You're out." We couldn't believe it. Andy did it. The dugout emptied. The kids came over, grabbed Andy, threw him up on their shoulders, and they carried him off the field. The fans were going crazy. Everybody was amazed. Now, in spite of Andy's tremendous play, there's a clear problem here. He ignored his fellow teammates, neglected their giftedness, and inadvertently communicated that they weren't even needed on the team. And how often do we do that same thing? Because we're addicted to being the hero. We live and we work and we lead for the applause of others, refusing to give other people's roles and responsibilities because we're addicted to the applause. We're addicted to being the hero. And when we do this, we refuse to give others significant roles that will enable them to develop their leadership. Our inability to share the light will keep us from sharing our load of responsibility. So what do? 2 things. Number 1, we have to confess our pride. And then second, make a list of the strengths, gifts, and passions of your team. Look at that list and ask yourself, how well am I stewarding the God-given design and calling of the people on my team? And if we're honest, when we look at that list, then it will drive us to develop those around us. Hey, equipping new and existing leaders is one of the most significant investments you can make in your organization. So don't let your ego stop you from equipping others. I hope this video has been helpful and not too painful. If you liked it, make sure you click the like button, and I will see you in next Tuesday's video.